just going to see the introduction of the KiCAD software. The KiCAD software that we are using is in the 5.0.1 version. So now let us open our KiCAD software that I have already installed in my desktop. So it is just written that KiCAD is already running. Continue. Yes, let us see. Here I have already opened my KiCAD. So just click on yes. Okay. Now you could just notice the changes, right? The first 4 icons among the 8 icons that are displayed over here are something different from the last 4 icons. What is that? Now I am just clicking every icon. There is no change, whereas whenever I click the last 4 icons, there is a change. Why is that so? Why are the first 4 icons alone disclosed? Why aren't they revealed? So there is some changes in it. Do you know what? The first 4 components, or these first 4 icons, are the most important icons for designing the PCB layout. So they are just disclosed for the safety reasons. In case if we are not saving our file properly after completing our designing, so it may just cause a time loss, right? In order to avoid all those things, and just for the safety purposes, they have just disclosed the first 4 icons. Now let us just save our file before starting it. So click File, New, Project, and select the place wherever you want to. Just click Add New Folder and write as PCB New and open your new folder. It is empty. Again, just write something. Let me write as Dual Power Supply. Okay, and just save that. Now you can just see that your file is saved in the desktop, and hence it is written as desktop, and it is saved in the name of PCB new. And yes, we have saved it as PCB new. Do you remember? And the name that I saved my file is Dual Power Supply. If you want, you can even cross check that. So just minimize that and just see in the desktop it is saved as PCB new. Open that and it is written as PCB dual power supply, and inside it is saved. Just minimize that and go to KiCAD and just open that. Okay, now we can automatically see the changes, right? The first 4 icons which remained unmoved, which weren't revealed are now just revealed. So the first and foremost icon is nothing but schematic layout editor. The schematic layout editor has 2 distinct functions. What are they? Let us see. The whenever you draw your own circuit, you just draw that manually. You just need a pen or pencil just with an A4 sheet. Is that the same case even when you draw in a computer? No, it is something different. Whereas when we want to draw a circuit in the KiCAD software, we are just using this first icon, that is nothing but the schematic layout editor. Whereas the second distinct function is that you can just choose the appropriate footprint that is required for the KiCAD software or for the circuit that you're going to design. So the second icon is nothing but the symbol library editor. Whenever you don't find a symbol that is not in the schematic editor, but you just include it in your circuit, or when you just want that for your circuit to be added, so it is not available in the schematic editor, what will you even do? You should not just get fed up. Okay, you can just therefore use the second icon for that, symbol library editor. There we have n number of components that aren't available even in the schematic layout editor. Just search that with the appropriate name. If you just got that appropriate circuit symbol, just paste that in the schematic layout editor. So, and hence it is also called as a schematic layout editor. The third icon is nothing but the PCB layout. The PCB layout editor is also called as a main layout. The diagrams that are drawn in the computer are placed only in this PCB layout editor icon. The components that are just arranged according to their both sizes. So just make sure that whenever you're placing a component, it must be as small as possible. So just keep that in your mind when you're designing your PCB layout. So what is the difference between the PCB layout, or what is the distinct function apart from others? Instead of using wire connection, we are just going to use the tracks in the PCB layout editor. So the first and the fourth important icon is nothing but the footprint library editor. The footprint library editor is generally used to edit the footprints that cannot be edited in the PCB layout editor, that is in the previous icon. So there we use this footprint editor, and in this 5.0.1 version that we are using has a minimal of 1000 components. So the final PDF is also selected only in this fourth icon. So the Gerber viewer is the fifth icon. It also plays a major role in among all the 8 icons. Okay, if for an example, just take, if you want 1 lakh boots to be manufactured at a very short note of time, it's not possible to do manually. So in that case, what will you even do? So there we use an secondary option called machine. So we use machines to manufacture our PCB boards. Okay, in that case, we can't just use the PDF format files. So all the PDF format files are just converted into the Gerber files. So if our file is just necessary to be read by machines, then it must be used only in the Gerber view. Okay, if you use any other softwares for designing our PCB, then also the Gerber view can be read appropriately. Just make sure of that. And the sixth and the most important component is import bitmap. Generally it is used only by big MNC companies. If you want to add your images, it is possible in the import bitmap file, or if you just want to insert your texts which is something related to your logo, or if you want to add any slogans, then you can just add it with the help of this import bitmap file. And the seventh icon is nothing but the calculator tools. Generally we use manual calculators for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, whereas in this KiCAD software it is something different. Okay, where do we use the calculators? We use for 2 main functions, and the first one is to measure the voltage and the current that is going to pass through the circuits that you have designed, and the second important thing is that it is used to change the track width on whatever you are drawing. And the 8th icon is nothing but the worksheet layout editor. Generally the A4 sheet size, A3, A2, A1, those sizes are just already inserted. If you want any other layout sizes, you can just edit in the worksheet layout editor. So let us just have a small recap of whatever we have learned till now. And the first symbol is nothing but a schematic layout editor. It has 2 distinct functions. The first one is just to draw in the computerized format, whereas the second distinct function is that to apply the required footprints for the circuit you have designed. And the schematic symbol library editor is generally used whenever there is a component missing in the schematic layout editor, but it is required for your circuit, then you can go for the secondary that is the second icon, but it is just used in the rare cases. And the third one is the PCB layout editor. We use that instead of using wire connections, we use tracks. So there we use this PCB layout editor. And the fourth one is nothing but the footprint library editor. This footprint library editor is used to edit the footprint. Generally we have 10,000 components, and all those components can be edited, which cannot be done by the previous icon, that is the PCB layout designer. And the fifth icon is the Gerber viewer. So whenever a large number of components must be manufactured, there we use the purposes of machines, and those machines can read only Gerber files and cannot read PDF files. So there we use the Gerber files. And the sixth one is the Bitmap files, and we use that in order to just insert any picture or any texts related to your MNC companies, something an extra added effort, then we can just do that by the bitmap file. And the seventh one is the purpose of calculator. The calculator icon is generally or mainly used only to change the track width, which is something inevitable. You just can't deny that. The track width size must be always 1.5. Just remember that. Mostly the PCB layout designs must have only 1.5 track width, which is an important thing. And the 8th icon is nothing but the worksheet layout editor. The worksheet layout editor is generally used to change the layout sizes or the desired size, that whatever you want to do can be done in the worksheet layout editor, but the A4, A3, A2, A1 sizes are already inserted in it, so you don't have to worry about that. So this is about the KiCAD software introduction, and I hope I'm clear.